Okay, so picture this. You're shopping for a new jacket. One's that classic, like, rugged leather, and then there's one that's that soft suede.
Yeah.
Which one do you go for? I mean, it's tough, right?
It's a tough choice.
It is a tough choice, and that's what we're going to dive into today in this deep dive.
Yeah.
You sent us a great article about suede.
Yeah.
We're going to break it down so you can make that decision between,
Right.
rugged leather or soft suede.
Yeah, and suede is so fascinating.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't even realize that it's not actually a type of leather. It's from a different part of the hide altogether.
Oh, wow. I just thought it was like softer leather.
No, so think about a hide like a cake, right? You've got the outer layer, the tough part.
Okay.
That's the grain, that's your full grain leather.
Right.
But underneath, you've got this hidden layer called the corium.
Okay.
And if you peel back that tough exterior, you've got this really soft, almost fluffy layer.
Wow.
That's where we get suede.
So it's like choosing between the crust and the inside of the cake.
Yeah, exactly. And just like the inside of a cake is softer and more delicate.
Right.
Suede is known for being really pliable and having that luxurious feel. That's why it's so great for gloves and jackets and anything that needs to be soft against your skin.
Yeah. I mean, you think about suede, you think about like luxury and softness.
Yeah.
Speaking of gloves, though, the article mentioned something about the word suede coming from gloves from Sweden.
That's right, yeah. It comes from a French term, gants de Suède, meaning gloves from Sweden.
Okay.
And those gloves were famous for their softness because they were made from this special underside leather.
So because the Swedish gloves were so popular, they basically named the material after it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
It is. It kind of shows you how this reject material, the hides that had imperfections on the grain side,
right?
They were transformed into something really luxurious and desirable. It's a real underdog story.
I love that. From scraps to chic.
All thanks to the Swedes. So we've talked about where suede comes from.
Yeah.
What makes it unique? How do they actually make it? The article talked about splitting the hide, which sounds kind of intense.
It is a precise process.
Yeah.
There's a couple of ways to do it. One way is less common, and it's basically turning the hide upside down and using the flesh side.
Okay.
But you don't get that classic suede texture from that.
So what's the secret to getting that, irresistible suede softness?
The most common way is they actually split the hide, they carefully separate the grain from the corium, and then they remove any of the flesh that's left over, and that reveals that velvety underside.
Oh, wow.
And there you have your suede.
So it's like peeling an orange and getting to that, like, juicy inside.
Yeah, a great analogy. And just like different oranges have different levels of juiciness, not all suede is created equal.
Right. The article talked about sheepskin being the most common. What about other animal hides?
Yeah.
Can you make suede from anything?
You can. Sheepskin tends to be the softest and most supple, but you can also find suede that's made from pigskin cowhide, even deer. The type of animal and the age of the animal can affect how the suede feels and what the quality is like.
Okay, so now I'm picturing myself back in that store looking at those two jackets,
Right.
The rugged full grain and the soft suede. How do I choose? What are the pros and cons of each?
Yeah. If you want something that's going to last a long time, something durable.
Yeah.
Full grain leather is going to be the winner there. It's tough, it ages beautifully, and it can last for decades if you take care of it.
So like the workhorse of the leather world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like think about an old leather bag, or a vintage biker jacket.
Right.
That's full grain leather strength.
Yeah.
But suede offers something different, with its softness and pliability.
Yeah. And it's so luxurious.
Yeah.
A suede jacket or a suede bag.
Yeah.
But is it going to fall apart, because it's so soft?
Yeah. There's a trade-off.
Yeah.
Suede is definitely more delicate. It's going to scratch easier. It's easier to damage with water.
Right.
It needs a little bit more care to keep it looking good.
So full grain if you want it to last forever, and suede if you want that luxury and that feel.
Pretty much. But it's not always that simple.
Okay.
The article mentioned that suede can sometimes actually make other leather goods more durable.
Really? How does that work?
They use it as a lining.
Oh.
So imagine you have some really sturdy leather boots, but then they have a soft suede interior, so that adds comfort, and it can actually protect the leather from the inside.
So it's like a team player.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not the strongest on its own, but it makes those other leather items better.
That's pretty cool. And we talked about sheepskin being the most common type of suede.
Right.
But what about those other animal hides? Like, how do they compare?
Okay, so think about sheepskin suede like cashmere.
Okay.
It's really luxurious and delicate. Pigskin is more like denim.
Okay.
It's tougher and more durable.
So you'd want pigskin for like maybe work gloves or something.
Yeah, or a really heavy-duty backpack.
Okay.
Cowhide is kind of in the middle.
Okay.
It's a good mix of soft and durable.
Gotcha.
So they use that a lot for jackets and bags and shoes.
So there's so many different types of suede out there.
Yeah, there's a whole world of suede.
But before we go out and buy all the suede we can find, I have to ask, can it get wet?
The big question.
Yeah.
This is where that delicate side of suede comes in.
Right.
Remember how we talked about the corium being that soft inner layer?
Yeah, like the inside of the cake.
Exactly. That makes suede more porous than full-grain leather, which means that it absorbs water way easier.
So not a rainy day material.
Not really. I mean, it can handle a little bit of moisture.
Oh, okay.
But you definitely don't want to soak it. Think about it like a nice wool sweater.
Right.
You don't want to get that drenched.
The article did mention some care tips like sealant and brushing.
Right.
Can you explain what those are?
Yeah, suede protector spray is going to be your best friend. It basically makes a barrier that helps keep water and stains away from the suede. So it's like a raincoat for your suede.
So sealant first, and then what about the brushing?
Brushing regularly is the best way to keep your suede looking good. So you know that texture suede has that nap. Over time, it can get matted down and then your suede starts looking dull. Brushing it helps lift those fibers back up, and that brings back that soft, velvety look.
So sealant to protect it and brushing to maintain it?
Exactly.
What about when I inevitably spill something on it?
Yeah.
What do I do?
Stains are definitely not good for suede. The main thing is to act quickly.
Okay.
So if you spill something, blot it with a clean cloth. Don't rub it. Just blot it as much as you can to soak it up.
And what if it's already dried?
For those tougher stains, you can try a suede eraser or a suede cleaning kit.
Okay.
They're made to gently lift the stain without messing up the suede.
So there's hope?
There's always hope.
Okay, good.
And if all else fails, a professional leather cleaner can usually fix it.
Perfect. Okay, so I think we're getting the hang of suede care now.
Mm-hmm.
Before we move on, though, the article mentions sustainable suede.
Right.
I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, that's really important. It's about sourcing the suede ethically and producing it in a way that doesn't hurt the environment.
Right.
So making choices that are good for everyone.
So what should we be looking for when we're shopping? How can we tell if it's sustainable?
You want to know where your suede is coming from?
Okay.
Look for brands that are open about how they get their materials.
Yeah.
Do they use hides from animals that were treated well? Do they work with suppliers that care about animal welfare?
So transparency is key. Are there any certifications or labels that we can look for?
There are, yeah. Like the Responsible Wool Standard or the Leather Working Group. Those can help you find brands that are committed to doing things the right way, ethically and sustainably.
So those certifications basically guarantee that the hides are coming from farms that are treating the animals well and being responsible about the environment.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
It's not just about the animals, though, right? What about the environmental impact from, making the suede?
Right. The tanning process is a big part of it. The old way of doing it uses a lot of harsh chemicals.
Right.
That can be really bad for the environment.
So are there better ways to do it?
Yeah.
More sustainable ways?
Yeah, definitely. Look for brands that are using vegetable tanning or chrome-free tanning.
Oh, okay.
Those methods use natural tannins or chemicals that aren't as bad, so they're not hurting the environment as much.
So basically choose brands that care about the animals and the planet.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask questions.
Yeah.
If you can't find information about where they get their materials or how they make their suede, just ask them. The more we ask for transparency, the more these brands are going to have to step up.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
We have the power to change things by making conscious choices.
Exactly.
And sustainable suede. It's an investment, right? It might cost a bit more.
Yeah.
But at least you're supporting a good cause.
Right. It's about making sure the fashion industry is more ethical and responsible. Plus, good quality suede that's made well.
Yeah.
It's going to last a lot longer so you can enjoy it for years.
We've learned so much in this suede deep dive.
We have.
I mean, we went from not even knowing the difference between suede and regular leather to understanding, how it's made, how to take care of it.
Yeah.
And even the ethics of it all.
It's a whole journey.
It is.
Yeah.
And it just goes to show that even simple things like buying a jacket can actually make a difference.
Yeah. As long as we're informed, asking the right questions and supporting companies that are doing things the right way.
Absolutely. Well said. I think that about wraps up our suede saga.
I think so.
Hopefully our listeners are feeling a little more suede savvy.
Yeah.
Ready to rock their suede with confidence and a clean conscience.
For sure.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into the amazing world of suede.
Yeah. Thanks for listening.
We'll be back soon with another exciting topic, so stay tuned.